All right, it's Tuesday, March 4th. This is an end of the day SPY recap and a bit of an outlook on what's developing in the market overall going forward. First of all, today we end up, it's just the second day of the month, we end up with a 2-down continuation. We held below the midpoint of the prior day. We had a 2-down red day, and more importantly, we reached a key inflection point, this pivot. I've had this megaphone drawn in for a while now, looking at the potential for higher highs, and if we came all the way back down, we could be making lower lows, and we hit our target today. So after taking out this inflection point on the way down, if we didn't reverse from there, then there was a chance we could continue lower. We filled this gap, we didn't reverse there, and therefore we hit the target. So that was in play the whole time. The weekly chart never had a reversal bar, back up. Once it closed red and followed through lower, we hit this target. Now, obviously, that's why, you're going to get a little pause here to start. The question is, do you go a lot lower? Or is this a potential, area to reverse and start all the way back up again? So that's what I wanted to kind of look at here. And at the moment, I certainly don't have that answer. What I do know is we're 2 days into the month. So this month started here yesterday, and today was a little follow through. So let's look at the monthly chart, because that's kind of an important way I look at the big picture. First of all, 2 days into the month, we have now a red 2-down month that hit its target. So that's all it has to do is come down here. If we can't continue, if we can't reverse to the upside, then we have another target down here, and there's 2 targets down here, and I could see it very likely to be hit. It's a little bit of a pivot machine gun here. Heading lower if you want to go, bar after bar. But these are buying tails in here, so that could be support if we ever even get down there. But the way I kind of view the monthly chart, the way I've always viewed the monthly chart, is in uptrends, I'm comfortable that, number one, if it's green and green and green and green, then obviously it's an uptrend. I'm comfortable with 1 month of pausing and then kind of looking at the weekly chart to resume my, view of the uptrend in place. And as long as we have just 1 month of pause, I'm comfortable always considering it uptrend. Once I see 2 months of pausing, like here's 1 month and then 2 months down, I kind of want to see a green month form and then follow through before I even begin to get comfortable on the long side. I know sometimes I might miss a big green month up, but if that happens, that happens. So in this case, once we had 2 months down and I'm waiting for that, here's a green month, but it didn't really follow through and it wasn't a strong green month. Down, down, down. Here's kind of a green month inside bar, and then it kind of started up. So I could have seen going long here, thinking maybe we're getting a reversal, but then once we came back through the halfway point of that month, we're back to red, and then finally we get another green month, and then we get the follow through here. And this particular area, even though we consolidated for a while, we still held above the midpoint of that green bar and eventually started higher. This is another example of 2 months. Here's 1 month down, 2 months down. So now I wait for that green bar to form. If you want to get really aggressive, just kind of looking at this small little red month, once you had the 2 up developing, maybe you could have started to get long in here and seeing if we close green and follow through. But if you waited for the follow through, you got it here. We held above the midpoint of this reversal bar, and we've gone up, up, up. This is a 1 month pause. Wait for the weekly chart, so on and so forth. We've just had 1 month pauses. So now this is really the first red month down in a long time, and that's why I want to see, and we're very early in the month, so we have so much time to either, number one, we're going to continue lower until that weekly chart turns up. That's what I kind of look for on these 1 month, pullbacks. I wait for that weekly chart to turn up. So if we go to the weekly chart at the moment, we're just pretty strongly red. I don't see any, immediate reversal here with 2 or 3 days to go in the week. So what we're going to need on this weekly chart to turn up, in my opinion, is something really strong, some gap. Let's say the next few days go really strong and get a hammer bar, and then we start green. That could be something. If not, maybe we have to get a little 2 down. We have plenty of time in the month to do this, and then some kind of a 2 up. I just drew these out here just as an example. some two up here, because we're taking out this key pivot point. We want to see if we follow through much lower or we reverse to the upside. So if the weekly chart with time to go in the month gives me something like this, I'll get comfortable thinking that maybe it's the start of another green month to the upside. But we still have to get above that open, which is that purple line here, to turn this month green. So, we'll find out if that happens. In other words, if we do start heading up, I want to see if the market can get above this open some point during the month to really confirm that this uptrend was just a 1 month pause, and we have maybe we go like these areas here, green, 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 green. So that's what I'm looking for. If we have another, if we close red this month and we have a long way to go, and then follow through a little bit, then all of a sudden I'm back into this mode waiting for something to really turn up on the monthly chart. So that's what I'm saying, and it's very early in the month in terms of trying to figure out what's really going to unfold. So the bottom line for me is I want to see this weekly chart turn up in this 1 month pullback that we're currently in right now. We'll see if that unfolds. So a lot has to happen for that to unfold. I don't see it happening anytime soon. Also, as we get these reversals, let's say tomorrow, here's a pause day, we have, a speech tonight from the president, maybe, we get some kind of positive reaction. It could be a negative reaction, but if it's positive, we get a 2 up kind of bar, which looks like a daily signal, 3, 2 down, 2 up, that targets up to this target, this high. If we can't really follow through higher and then have a 2 down day, I'd be comfortable continuing the sell side and anticipating that maybe after a pause here at this key inflection point, we're heading lower on the monthly charts to some of these targets down here. So that's kind of my big picture outlook. I just wanted to, highlight that concept of the monthly chart and the weekly chart and how I'm viewing price action. I'm still biased to the downside a little bit. I know we're at a pause point, key pause area on the charts. It's a 1 month, down at the moment, so nothing more than that. We could just, pause in here and eventually reverse to the upside, or we could continue a lot lower. We're going to find out as the rest of the month moves on. And today, it's just not surprising if you look at the price action on the continuation down below the first bar low on the 15-minute chart. Once we hit our key inflection area in the big picture, not surprising that you had a big, kind of a pause and a sharp little rebound here. Obviously, we sold off at the end of the day. We're kind of bounced up a little bit, in the aftermarket, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. So there could be buy signals to try in here, but more importantly is going to be, if we do get buy signals, can we get that weekly chart turning green? And until that happens, I'm not really biased to the upside, although I'll go with it and kind of see if that begins to unfold. And anything that doesn't turn the weekly chart up green, or anything on the daily chart that can't reach targets, I'm still excited to try eventual short trades to see if we could take out this pivot and move a lot lower. And maybe this monthly chart's going to give us, another month red, and we're going to find that out, more into next month. So that's why it's a long way off before I really know. But if that happens, then things don't look good for a while, for maybe the first half of the year, something like that. But if we can hold in here and turn things up, then it's just a 1 month pullback, and we will, the weekly chart will turn up, and we'll kind of, like on these other 1 month pullbacks, will resume a lot higher. So let's see what unfolds. That's my, analysis. Unfortunately, it's too early in the month to really predict what's going to happen, but I kind of know how the daily chart, is gonna, how that is going to unfold relative to, what I need to see on the weekly chart, and relative what I need to see on the monthly chart.